Hey, my name is Tonny Okello. I am from Uganda, Africa. And Africa is not a country, it's a continent. Actually, the second biggest continent after Asia, with 1.1 billion people. When I moved to Alabama, I encountered lots of questions about Africa. Some of them were actually very funny. So I feel it's the right time to address some of those questions in this post. One of the questions I encountered was, how did you get to US? How did you travel to US? Did you use a boat? Most often I sarcastically answer saying I swam all the way from Africa to Mobile, Alabama. I'm a long distance swimmer. After the look of amazement, I always say there are actually airline companies in Africa that fly all over the world. Do you ride elephant to school? My answer was actually no, we don't ride elephants. We actually ride lion to school every morning. I've ever seen a lion before in my life, apart from the one I looked at the zoo. One of the common questions I always encounter is, did you learn English when you came to America? The answer is, I did learn English while in Uganda. Uganda was a British colony, so English is widely spoken. Actually, English is the official language in Uganda. If you go to an office in Uganda, you are expected to use English as a medium of communication. Another thing about Africa, people are always quick to identify is war. Every place in Africa at war? Absolutely not. There are 54 countries in Africa. Some countries in Africa have been at war for quite a long time. Example, Somalia. But there are countries in Africa that are peaceful, that have never experienced war, that are democratic, that hold elections periodically, that transition power from one president to another without any problem. Another success story of a place coming from war is Rwanda. Rwanda is one of the most successful countries in Africa right now. If you go to Kigali, you'll be surprised at the progress that Rwanda has made. But most people in the Western world still prefer to remember Rwanda with 1994 genocide. But Rwanda has moved on 20 years from now. It's a totally different countries. To the Western world, Ebola is all of Africa. I am from Uganda. Uganda is more than 3,000 miles away from Liberia. But my interaction with my friend, when I always interact with them, the first thing they're asking me every day is, are your family okay? Is anybody from your family suffering from Ebola? The answer is, there's no Ebola in Uganda. The funny thing, my landlady a few weeks ago asked me not to welcome anybody from Africa into my bedroom. I had to take the time to explain to her that Ebola, actually, Uganda doesn't have Ebola. And none of my family members or my friends in Uganda is under the threat of getting infected with Ebola. And for the tourists, the athletes who want to go train in Kenya, want to go train in Ethiopia, want to go train in Morocco, feel free to go and train in Kenya, feel free to go and train in Morocco, feel free to go and train in training camps in Ethiopia. Because there is no such a thing as Ebola in Ethiopia, there's no Ebola in Kenya, there's no Ebola in Morocco. Ebola is in West Africa. To put it into perspective, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm closer to Ebola in New York than people in Uganda are closer to Ebola in Liberia.